my name is Omar. We're here at Functional Core Fitness, and today we're going to talk about single leg balance alphabet tracing. So the last video series was a core movements. Now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on balance or single leg balance. This is a very beginner movement or beginner exercise that I show people when we introduce single leg balance to their training. Now, just as a reminder, there are progressions to the single leg balance. We can challenge it in different variations. But one of the easiest way is by choosing different balancing apparatus. Now, that's a Bosu ball, and this is a Eric's pad. Now, Eric's pad is very squishy, so it's going to challenge my ankles when I stand on top of it. The Bosu ball, B-O-S-U, both sides up. You can balance with the flat side down or the dome side down. Either way, it's going to challenge the ankle differently, and it's going to challenge your stability, your single leg stability. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about when we discuss or we talk about balancing is your proper positioning or your archetype. Now, the archetype is just your starting position of the proper alignment. Since we're balancing on one leg, it looks very similar to standing on two legs. So the alignment or the key points of alignment is going to be my ear and my shoulder. Are they in a straight line? In this case, yes. Now if I'm doing this, now it's out of alignment. Now, is my shoulder and my hip in alignment? In other words, am I arching or rounding my back? All right, I want to make sure that my ear, shoulder, hip are in alignment. Now the next point is going to be my knee, followed with my ankle. Now I want to make sure that when I'm standing in this balancing position, that my archetype is in the right position, or my neutral position, my neutral spine, my neutral position. Now I want to make sure, once I have my alignment correctly, my point of connection. Now the point of connection of my feet and the floor is the 3 points of connection. You have one under the big toe, you have one under the pinky toe, the balls of your feet, and then you have the heel. Those 3 pressure points are important when you are balancing on one leg or when we're standing. So I'll give you a quick example. If I were standing like this, right, I have 2 points of connection onto the floor, but not my third because my heel is up. Right? I have seen people who walk with their ankles like this, and they're always on their balls of their feet, so their heels aren't anchored. I've also seen the other direction where people's hips are so positioned this way, where all my weight is on my heels. So that's dominating my heel connection. But it's all in the hips, right? So this is our anterior, which is going to force me forward, or I'm pouring my bucket of water outward to the front. If I pour my bucket of water from the back, right, now I'm heel heavy. So my hips determine my connection point, okay, big time. So now I'm in my alignment. I have my 3 pressure points on the floor with my foot or my balancing foot. I'm going to balance on one leg. Now, when we balance, make sure that we don't balance on our hip. I want to make sure that when I stabilize, that I'm still in this proper alignment or my neutral alignment. The exercise is going to be the tracing of the alphabet. Now, I'm going to trace the alphabet with my non-balancing leg. I have 3 different ways I can do this. The most easiest way is with minimal movement, where I trace the alphabet with my ankle. Now it's easier because it's less movement, so it's not going to challenge my balance as much. I could take it to the next joint and use my knee. Now it's going to be easier because it's going to be harder because there's more movement. Now the most advanced or the hardest way is going to be a stiff leg where I'm moving through my hip, right? I'm not moving through my ankle. I'm not moving just through my knee. I'm moving through my whole hip. So depending on your intensity desired, you can move through the ankle, through the knee, or through the hip. But the goal is, whichever one you start with, you should be able to trace A all the way through Z. Or if you don't like the alphabet, 1 through 26. Or any alphabet, any language that you want that does more than 20 to 24 letters. Why? To work on the endurance of the joint. So let's cover it real quick. Single leg balance, hip is in the right position, right? I'm single leg, I'm not in my hip. Now from here, I'm going to trace the alphabet. So this is B, this is C. Now also, when you're balancing, you want to make sure that you're loose. You don't want to be stiff. If you're stiff, you're going to make the exercise a lot harder. Allow yourself to be fluid, right? Allow your arms to move. You don't have to be really, really strict where you're in one position. You're balancing. Give your core a challenge on stabilizing and challenge the ankle to stabilize while you're moving through the whole alphabet. Whichever intensity you choose, have a good time doing it, challenge the ankle, and once you can do the whole alphabet without stepping and recovering, then you're ready to increase the intensity and perform different balancing apparatuses so that you can challenge yourself. And then when that gets too easy, then we move on to the next balancing exercise, which comes next week. See you next week.